Alright, so today starting off the showcases for the brand new characters released in Brave Souls. Today we have an absolute fan favorite, a character people have been waiting for, especially since she was animated in Season 3 of 1000 Blood War. Today we have RAIJIN SENKEI Yoruichi, an absolutely amazing character from a visual standpoint and also gameplay standpoint. I mean, look at the character's model in-game. I would never, ever not glaze this model. She looks absolutely amazing. Even comparing the two models of the original RAIJIN SENKEI Yoruichi, I mean, look at the difference. I'm always going to have a soft spot for those old characters, iconic ones that at this point in a way are nostalgic but also happened before the anime. There's a charm in the old one, but at the same time the new one just again looks absolutely amazing. And that in itself is going to translate into an amazing character. So first up, Yoruichi is a technique sniper with the no affiliation killer plus ability. She is basically our third melee no affiliation killer released in the last year since ZANJUTSU. And in a way, she's designed to be your potential new main go-to technique character and also melee no affiliation killer. And there's a few reasons for that. You're going to notice, of course, her strong attacks are going to be really good when we do decide to use her, but she has a really high damage output. For starters, she has Frenzy +3. She has around a 50% strong attack damage increase built into the kit. It is higher because we have equipped accessories and links onto the character, but right now in particular, I am rocking 87%. She has a 30% full stamina damage boost. Again, that's been further increased through sword traits, bonus abilities, links, etc. Upon inflicting a status ailment, in this case we do have Paralysis Plus, we do get a 100% spiritual pressure boost. And then in this case with bonus abilities, we do have upwards to 87% more damage to paralyzed enemies. That's in of itself really good. And I guess one quality of life skill, which you don't see all too often on characters that can inflict status ailments like freeze and paralysis, she also does have poise break. Technically, she doesn't need it, because the idea is that you are going to paralyze the enemies, but this is going to be really good when you are using her off killer, where she isn't going to be inflicting a status ailment as often. But also at the same time, Yoruichi kind of already has like every skill you want. There wouldn't really be anything else to put on her, I guess, besides poise break in this case. But one of the things I really love about this character is the EX skills. Naturally, the character has a 14% recharge. At special level 1, she does offer 15% strong attack damage, which is on the lower side, but it's still decent, because it is also paired with EX long stride. So for any technique character, you can offer all three of those in one soul trait if you are using Yoruichi in that first link slot. And the more duplicates you get, the better. It does cap out at 25%. But the idea of giving a recharge, berserker, and also long stride, I think is a really good combination, and something that I'm going to use quite a lot, because what this does mean, at least me personally, whenever I am using a character, right, and this also goes for Yoruichi, my bonus abilities are always going to be full stamina and also long stride. And if they have long stride built in, then I can give them extra damage through focus, spiritual pressure, damage to a status ailment, for example. And Yoruichi as a soul trait basically allows me to do that. But with that said, when it comes to building Yoruichi, we're going to keep it very simple. Use a T-set, Fortification Pill, and also Lieutenant Badge at 5-star plus, all with 30% spiritual pressure, and then give it as much recharge and strong attack damage as possible. For me, these are my 3 best soul traits in the technique attribute. As of right now, since EX skills are still new, she can't really take advantage of any other EX skill that another character can give to her, because the 2 other existing characters, Macy and also Renji, don't work as good EX skills for a character like Yoruichi. So in a way, technically, depending on a future technique character release, she can get better with that new EX skill ability. Alright then, so with that said, let's jump into some gameplay. Again, going over the character model, I think it actually was really cool from this point of view too, because it kind of just completely overlaps her. In a way, it doesn't kind of block the character's model itself. And the glowing ears also stand out a little bit too. So again, I just really like the character's model. So gameplay-wise, she also has a really good strong attack kit. Her SA1 is going to be a lunge forward, which does have some pretty good AoE to it. Her SA2 is also going to be a lunge forward, an even better one. And keep in mind, this strong attack 2 is a superior strong attack, so it does deal a little bit more damage while also having a little bit longer of a usual cooldown, but it balances out. But having double lunge is a combination that we've seen in the past, but it's very rare to see it. And then the SA3, of course, it's just a full screen, so it makes for very smooth gameplay. And then when you also consider the EX ability, it's also another lunge, but it hits so many times, and it, in my opinion, it's one of the better damage dealing EX abilities that we have in this game. Normally, whenever a character does get an EX, you kind of want it to have some type of unique effect, whether that's boosting your spiritual pressure, boosting your damage, providing utility, just providing something other than just more damage, because usually those damage dealing EX abilities aren't that great. One of the better ones that could have been really good was Soifon's. that she introduced during the 9th anniversary. She has like a really good lunge forward, but unfortunately, due to Soifon's lack of guard break and the way the hits do work, it wasn't that good. And in a way, which maybe makes sense because we're going from Soifon to Yoruichi, Yoruichi kind of just has an upgraded version of what Soifon has as an EX, and it just kind of sends her across the screen, but is also capable of doing some pretty good damage. Then you get to the Soul Bomb, which is easily one of the best Soul Bombs in the entire game, literally one-to-one with the anime, with their own unique take on it. But we got impact frames in BBS, huh? That's so sick. I said it during the initial reaction. When the animation is good, Season 3 in particular had really good animation. It translates into really good Soul Bombs. And that's exactly what we have here with Yoruichi, especially when it's a really cool form in of itself. And it just makes it look really fun to play with. Especially again when you have a good strong attack here. So first attempt, 1 minute and 40-second clear time. Let's try that once more and try and go for a faster clear time. All right, here we go. Attempt number 2. Let's start off with the SA1. Go here, use our SA2. Couldn't fully cover the room, but the SA3, it does finish up there. You can pretty much just spam your strong attacks, right? But I do want to try and clear that room with like 3 strong attacks. Now, we are actually immune to burn, so I do need to be less careful. I'm trying to dodge around the burn pulls, but I definitely don't need to. SA3, really good damage output, where even if we don't inflict stat azimuth against the bosses, we're probably still going to almost one-shot them. Let's use the EX now. Again, the EX is also really good too. More reasons for, you know, the really good range and damage output. But it also does have like a 26% chance to paralyze per hit, and it does hit around 9 times, I believe. So the EX is going to be a really good way just to almost guarantee a spiritual pressure boost when you are up against no affiliation enemies, which is basically like we are seeing in this case. But with Frenzy +3, you normally don't have to worry about that. So pretty easy thus far. Let's go ahead and grab the Soul Bomb and then finish up. We're going to play out the Soul Bomb again. I almost never want to skip this because, again, it's just such a good Soul Bomb. Looks a lot better in-game when compared to watching it on YouTube because of the small little particle effects that might not translate into a compressed video on YouTube, but it really does look a lot better in-game. So in that case, significantly faster, a 51-second clear time. Let's try that once more. So we got attempt number 3. Let's start off with the 1. Go here, SA3. Almost actually killed the Momo there. That's actually pretty good. We'll save the SA2 for the next room. Now, one thing I also forgot to mention, but I didn't mention it in videos leading up to Yoruichi, right? Is that because we have Long Stride and we are Yoruichi with Sprinter +2, we're also a really fast character. Like, look at the flash steps that we have here with the Long Stride built into. I think for next run, I do want to give a double Long Stride because you can do that. And the EX does actually kill there, but it makes her like one of the fastest characters in the game, at least from a, what do you call it, a flash stepping standpoint. Because Yoruichis have naturally more flash steps. So when you have Sprinter +2, you kind of just like flash step all over the map. And again, we can make it a little bit faster by giving a double Long Stride, which is a thing in case you aren't aware. It's more like Long Stride 1.5, if that kind of makes sense. Because Long Stride does increase the distance of the flash steps, and it does get noticeably larger. But it's not like that crazy of a difference, you know? But this is pretty much like the fastest we are going to get, around 35 seconds, maybe sub 30 if I line up my strong attacks a tad bit better. So again, let's change our second bonus ability for the sake of the showcase into Long Stride. So now in this case, we have double Long Strides. So let's see the difference now. It definitely, it might be hard to see the difference, but it definitely does feel a lot different when you have the double Long Stride. Because if we just try and flash step to the side of the map, look how fast that is. That's actually significant. Maybe you can't tell from the video, but it is really, really, really faster. Let's go and use our SA2. We did lose a bit of full stamina, but we are back up to full stam. There we go. In this case, let's EX. Did that actually kill the boss? It didn't. The boss didn't spawn in yet. But the SA2 does take down the boss. Again, it is the superior strong attack. So if you can save that strong attack too, for whenever you do go up against the boss, that'd be really good. I should be soloing here. There we go, SA2. And then instantly into the next room. This might be the play when it comes to using Yoruichi. If you can just clear fast naturally, having the double Long Stride with like the 5 flash steps, it's so fast. So look at this. It takes like almost 2 sets of flash steps to get to the end of the map. Let's just Soul Bomb and then finish up with a strong attack 3. And then go back into racing. One side to the other. I mean, we cleared slower there, but we weren't trying to go for a fast clear time. Mostly just demonstrating the double Long Strides. Next up though, let's take Yoruichi into Epic Raid. Right now we have access to the ultimate ultra awakened Esnot Epic Raid, where right now she is a 3 times damage bonus. So of course with that we are going to do a lot of damage. Build is pretty much the exact same, although of course this time we are using the free Toshiro Familiars, where we are getting 60% more Berserker, 60% more full stamina damage, and also 285 more spiritual pressure. So with that in mind, I think the play here is to instantly use my EX ability to inflict a status summon. That way we can instantly get into phase 2. Because again, the idea with these characters is that they start to do a lot more damage once we do get the spiritual pressure boost. So now I guess would be a good time to potentially use the Soul Bomb. Use our SA3, go instantly into phase 3. SA2 there. Now it's going to get a bit slow. I'm actually not sure how much HP the enemy does have, but I'm pretty sure it's around 80 million. Damn, hold on. I'm not fully accustomed to the attack pattern, I will be honest. But we're dodging it. We are dodging it. Got the SP boost. SA2 goes off. There we go. First attempt, not too bad. 36 seconds. While not being able to reliably inflict paralysis on our first attempt is actually pretty good. Again, there are 2 current Epic Raids available right now. There's the Ultimate Awakened Epic Raid Esnot, and then there's the Ultra Ultimate Awakened Esnot Epic Raid. It's kind of a mouthful in terms of titles here, but this is definitely the harder one, and we were able to beat it by ourselves 35 seconds. But let's go ahead and open up the lobby. In this case, we have a few Yoruichis with us. We also have Tanjiro to boost our stats. And I'm pretty sure a new player is in this lobby. So with that, we are getting the extra 50% damage for having a new player in the lobby, which is actually pretty good. So again, similar strategy. I'm going to instantly start off the EX. I think that's definitely the best play here, because then you're most likely to inflict the status augments. And right now, I guess I'm trying to go for that MVP status. So let's use the SA3. Really good damage there. And then I'm going to Soul Bomb. Use my SA1, and you're pretty much, like always to be fair, when you have a full bonus lobby, especially with a good damage dealing character like Yoruichi, easy 10-second run in the ultimate Ultra Awakened Esnot Epic Raid. Again, it's a mouthful of a title. We do get the MVP, and then we also, because it is the Ultra version, get more medals too, so that's something to keep in mind. So let's do one more run to see if we can be maybe consistent in that 10-second clear time. Unfortunately, in that case, we didn't get the spiritual pressure boost upon using the EX attack. But sometimes that is going to happen. Tanjiro's Soul Bomb goes off. Not the best time, but we're dodging out the way. I'm going to go ahead and use my Soul Bomb right now. Bambia disappearing. Again, I always try to explain it when I can, but on PC in particular, whenever a Soul Bomb is skipped, it does actually kind of glitch the Soul Bomb. It's only really seen on PC, though. Keep that in mind. So I actually used my Soul Bomb, but I didn't get the SP boost. That's kind of unfortunate. Might not get the MVP in this particular run. But we are clearing fast now that all the Soul Bombs are going off. Let me just flash that out the way. Finish up with the SA2. There we go. A bit slow on that one at 30 seconds. But 30 seconds is still good, especially if you are farming this, going for the 5 times runs. I mean, 30 seconds is not that much whatsoever. And then again, you're going to get all those extra rewards too. So yeah, Yoruichi right now, obviously pretty good. If you're looking for a day to farm, it probably is going to be on Yoruichi days. Next up, though, let's take Yoruichi into Guild Quest, where right now we technically give access to the Nightmare Plus Guild Quest, where we are most importantly going to see Burn Plus pause. In Yoruichi's case, she is immune to Burn Plus, actually does have a 200% resistance, but in a way, the best thing about Yoruichi when it comes to the melee no affiliation Guild Quest is the other leads are also pretty good. Yoruichi is like both combined. Both Uetsu and Shinji combined. Because Shinji can clear pretty safe, assuming he has good normal attack damage characters, because he can constantly inflict status moments like Dominate to keep the team at full stamina. Keep his team safe. Meanwhile, Uetsu can clear faster, but it might be a bit of a struggle, because he's pretty much relying on his raw damage output, but he can't inflict any status moments. He has no way to really stop the enemy from dealing damage. Yoruichi, again, is pretty much both of those things, where she can stop the enemies because she has paralysis, and also do insane damage because she has a really high damage output. So in terms of how we are going to build Yoruichi for Guild Quest, keep in mind it's not the best build, and by that you can get the 5-star plus no affiliation killer sticker. But again, when it comes to using a character at special level 1, if you are trying to get like the max score possible, you're probably better off going Focus. And from what I'm hearing, because she does so much damage, you probably don't even want to use Recharge. Instead, just go with strong attack damage and full stamina damage soul trait abilities. So for example, it might be better if I was to use Senkeei Yoruichi, because that way I'm getting more damage and less recharge, but when you're one-shotting potentially each wave, you don't need the recharge. Another one would also be Rangiku that offers 40% more damage at full stamina if you're trying to go for like the really max high score. I'm just going to keep it simple though, recharge on full stamina, right? Now, Macy is going to be our main normal attack damage dealing character while also boosting our team stats. And then because Yoruichi is a technique Soripa, you can also use Swimsuit Jushiro for additional damage. In this case, we get 20% more strong attack damage, and we also do get 40% more damage to enemies that are inflicted by a status element. Alongside that, because we are using Jushiro, we can also use Mugetsu to get an additional 20% strong attack damage. So from Jushiro and the Mugetsu soul trait, we're getting 40% strong attack damage and then 40% more damage when we are inflicting status ailments. So that right there should result in pretty fast clear times if we just go in without even resetting. So first up, let's use our SA3, then use our 1. In this case, we're going to rely on Macy to start dealing some damage, some leftover damage. Going into second wave, SA2 into 1. And wave 3, SA3 comes back, SA1. Let our normal attack damage character finish up. Going into the next wave, let's SA1. Then use our 2. I accidentally did not mean to do that, but we did use our Soul Bomb. And then I guess for Ginzuru, we can just go in. Again, the EX ability, I really do believe is one of the better damage dealing ones because it does also do some pretty decent damage. Now, first attempt, very easily done, but that was not a good attempt, I will be honest. We had like, what, 45 seconds? Strong attack 2, though, pretty much almost one-shot that entire boss. That is crazy. Let's inflict the paralysis. Again, keep our team at full stamina. Enemies are constantly being paralyzed. We do not have to worry about them whatsoever. And it pretty much just comes down to, can we deal enough damage? And of course, the answer is an astounding yes. Look at the time left. 24 seconds to go. Macy just activated her gauge effect, where she's then dealing more damage. And we cleared around 1 billion damage, I'm pretty sure, HP, in just under 1 minute with 20 seconds to spare. So if you're looking to get a good score very easy, of course, Yoruichi is going to be a character that does offer that. But again, we can get faster because right now we just got 39 seconds. I only did a few runs with this character on stream, but we did very easily get 48 seconds remaining. So if I can potentially replicate that, I guess I could try and go for that again. There we go. Going into the second wave, let's SA2. I guess in this case, we could use our Soul Bomb, then EX. And again, in some cases, we might not even need to use our strong attack, right? But it's SA3, SA1. And then final wave, we can pretty much just do SA2. And then SA1. Again, 48 seconds remaining. Second attempt there. That seems to be a better pattern when it comes to strong attacks. And the lunges are great. Again, she has a really good strong attack 1 lunge. Normally, you don't want that. Now, unfortunately, I took some damage. That might cost us the run. But I guess we can use this as an example. Can we still clear it? Even though we lost all our full stamina damage. Maybe not, but we'll find out. We'll find out. So the run is definitely all over the place right now. You can definitely notice the big damage fall off once we do take damage. But ideally, you don't want to take any damage. I kind of messed up there. But the strong attacks that she does have, despite them both being lunges, have really good AoE to it. Really good AoE. So at no point do you really have to worry about any of the enemies going, too far. Getting knocked back. They're all getting paralyzed, and they're all dying super quick. So, even though we did take damage, fortunately, thanks to Mason and team, looks like it didn't really matter all too much. We were still able to beat it pretty easy. And again, this is only one fight. The more duplicates you get, the better. And we actually got a new PB there, but my main goal is to try and get 50 seconds. It may be my own time, unless we can do it next run. So let's go ahead and try that again. Maybe it'd be better for me to use my strong attack 1 first. So SA1 into the 3. It's kind of the same, to be fair. Let's SA1, then 2. The idea there using this 2 seconds was maybe it would offer more damage. Okay, pretty good. SA3 into the 1. Macy's also dealing some damage. Not entirely the same score, but it's fine as is. We're looking at around potentially 45 seconds. I don't think we inflicted a status on that very first strong attack against the final boss, but the SA1 did do a lot of damage because it was the one that was able to inflict the paralysis. So let's just try and clear this particular part a lot faster. So SA2. I need to learn the attack patterns because now they spawn like on different sides. So I wasn't able to do a lot of damage there against that boss. Even then, the SA1 I completely missed, right? SA2. And then finish up with the 3. Do we get the paralysis? We did not. We completely missed. Again, sometimes it's kind of hard to see when you have all the effects turned on. But there we go. Looks like no matter what, if you don't take any damage, you're looking around 25 seconds remaining after clearing all 4 extra waves. Alright, so let's jump into Limit Breaker. In this case, Yoruichi is going to be a really good character in slot number 1. Not only is she a fast character, thanks to the fact that, again, she has those extra flash steps and long stride. She also has, again, constant paralysis inflicting, right? Whenever you are in the future or now up against any potential new no affiliation enemies, right? Rooms are pretty good for it. Again, just constantly moving forward. And then the other 2 characters we are using is Aizen and also Renji. Aizen right now is the best character in slot 2. Able to do some pretty good damage, heal himself, and also constantly inflict status augment. And then Renji will also use him for the status procs. But he also is another good character. So let's go here. SA2. These are the poison enemies. Like I said, the good thing here is that even though we do have an increased chance to inflict paralysis, in case they don't get inflicted, they won't lunge ahead and try and distance themselves from each other, right? We'll just knock them down and then potentially inflict paralysis later on. So I do like that combination. You know, we had characters in the past, literally last month, where a character like, Nini, weren't able to inflict Poise Break. I don't think it's that big of a deal if a character doesn't have Poise Break when they have paralysis, because technically they don't need it, but it is nice to have it. It doesn't like make or break the character, but it is a nice quality of life, especially when you have all the skills you basically could ask for. Now with Renji, we need to be a tad bit careful here, because we aren't immune to any poison, and we aren't able to heal ourselves back up, so do need to be careful with Renji. But you're going to see here, Renji's going to constantly burn and lacerate them. Not as fast as maybe Ishin. So but I should probably be using Ishin. But he's a decent character in slot 1. Sorry, slot number 3. Now, what I do like, whenever we can use it, I'm not sure when I'm going to use it. The EX ability on Yoruichi, like I already mentioned, can deal some pretty good damage. So it's a really good strong attack for clearing waves of enemies. Because it should be able to one-shot no matter what stage you are on. Because, unless you are, of course, going against the poised enemies, right? So, for example, use it here. Takes them all down. Really good. I actually wouldn't have minded if that EX ability was a strong attack free, in all honesty. That would have been a really good, fun, strong attack free to spam. Because could you ever imagine having like 3 strong attacks that all just moving forward? That would have been fun. That would have been great. If anything, that would have been a way to get Yoruichi to become a bit more fun and better. Potentially, I don't know. I think the full screen is still good to have. So we go to use that SA3 here. Go here, SA2. So we didn't inflict all the enemies with paralysis there, but we did finally get it on the second strong attack. Now we can just deal our normal attacks. Let's back up because they are about to unparalyze. SA3. So it's going to be a bit slow here. These enemies have a lot of HP. We have really good damage, but not like crazy burst damage. So you have to like just sit here and spam your strong attacks. Fortunately, you have to worry about the enemies, you know, distancing themselves, going all over the place. So it really just becomes a damage check at this point against these enemies with the constant paralysis. So let's go ahead and use our SA1. Completely missed that, but we'll make up for the SA3. And then here we'll use our SA2. Now Aizen doesn't have Poise Break, but he's one of those characters that don't need Poise Break. Since you can see here, we're getting the damage from the Drain, damage from his strong attacks, and then also the Dominate is doing a lot of damage too. Let's use R2. I'm kind of all over the place right now when it comes to this particular room. Let's use that SA3 now. Should be able to inflict all of them with the status augments. Back it up. We'll probably use... I mean, to be fair, we probably should be using EX now, actually. Not like it matters, but we are kind of capped at, like, stage 25 with this team. So no need to stall it out. But we're now into our third rotation. 19... Stage 20, actually. With 1 minute to go. Right now, we're looking at stage 24, 25. Really comes down to if I can clear it fast with Yoruichi. With Renji again doing some pretty good damage. Let's go here, SA2. And then the SA1 comes back in time. Take them down, lovely. Aizen, this one's going to be a bit awkward. Again, I should probably use my EXs. I'm kind of forgetting about those. Just use it now. Because this is the last time I'm going to use him. And then... I almost used the summon now. I don't think we're going to be able to break 25 with Yoruichi. I need to clear faster with these stages. But I guess we'll find out. Can Yoruichi clear in 25 seconds? I'm not entirely too sure. The room itself is quite large, so you have to do just a couple of strong attacks here. And okay, lucky we do get our spiritual pressure boost back. Okay, and EX is able to do some pretty good damage. SA2. Then 3, it's close them. So I think if I save time, if I use my EX abilities on Aizen and Renji, and just kind of improve their score a little bit on their stages, we literally had like 10 seconds to go, and we would have made it into stage 25. So definitely could have cleared a lot faster there. But even then, to be fair, surprisingly, you know, Yoruichi didn't clear her stages super fast. Stage 16 in particular took me 40 seconds, which I've already done a few attempts. I should have cleared that in around 25-ish seconds. That's normally around the time. So I guess for this particular run, we were just for some reason a lot slower on that stage. Maybe something just went wrong there. I'm not too sure. So definitely room for improvement, but Yoruichi, solid character in slot number 1. But with that said, that's the video for today, trying out the brand new RAIJIN SENKEI Yoruichi. Honestly, a really good character release. It's always great when a hype and anticipated character gets a good character release that in a way is perfect from a visual standpoint and a gameplay standpoint. She's by no means the best character in the game, but she's pretty damn good. But in my opinion, although I am biased, I'm actually a big fan of this form, but in general, she's one of my favorite character releases this year. A great character no matter where you take her, and in the comments below, let me know how you lads feel about her. I definitely see myself playing this character a lot as one of my go-to characters for merely no affiliation content, for technique content, and even as a soul trait. I mean, that EX ability is pretty damn good, so I'll be using that a lot anytime I am using a technique character. Hope you guys enjoyed the video though. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.